Hey everybody, I know it's been a while, so I hope you're hungry for another episode of Chicken Parm Dave's MMA Chow Down. And what am I chowing down on today? Well, that is a very simple question, and I'm going to give you the answer too. I'm chowing down on UFC Fight Night number 98. That's right, Dos Anjos versus Ferguson. I'm going to give you the whole fight card, and I'm going to give you my predictions on what I think will happen. So without further ado, let's get it started. On the preliminary card on UFC Fight Pass, we got Enrique Barzola versus Chris Avila. Avila is actually a training partner of the Diaz brothers, and both are coming off losses, but I saw Barzola's last fight against Kyle Bochanak or something, and I thought he actually won that fight. Barzola is actually an Ultimate Fighter Latin America season winner. So I'm going to go Barzola on this one. I thought he had a great fight last time. I thought he won, like I said before. So I'm going to go with Barzola to pick up the victory by second round TKO. Next up in the lightweight division, we got Marco Polo Reyes versus Jason Novelli. These two guys I really don't know much about, unfortunately. So why not I just go with I'll go Jason Novelli by decision in that lightweight contest. So, unfortunately, I don't know too much about those guys, but maybe I'll get to learn about them, and maybe they'll be on another card, and I can watch this fight and tell you more about them later on. Coming up, the main event for the UFC Fight Pass preliminary card. One of my favorite fighters in the game today, middleweight fighter, Smiling Sam Alvey. He's going up against Alex Nicholson. Now, I'm never going to go against Sam Alvey, so I'm going to go Sam Alvey first round TKO because you have to admire the fighting stance and style and the charisma of Smiling Sam Alvey. So, got to go with Smiling Sam Alvey on this one. Okay, next up, the preliminary card on Fox Sports 1. We got a bantamweight showdown between Henry Barones versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. Okay. Got to go Barones on this one. I feel like this is going to be a pretty decent fight. I'm going Barones by let's do third round submission. Why not? Why not here on Chicken Parm Dave's MMA Chowdown? Chowing down on UFC Fight Night number 98. Okay, next up we got Erik Montano versus Max Griffin. Unfortunately, I don't really know much about these guys. So I'm going to go, why not Erik Montano, first round submission. Okay, moving up. Next up, we got Marco Beltrone versus Joe Soto. Now, Joe Soto made his actually UFC debut fighting TJ Dillashaw for the actual title. He's actually been on he was on a losing streak for a decent while in his career. He lost 3 in a row, but he finally picked up a win his last time out against Chris Beal by real naked choke, which is actually a pretty good fight. So I'm going to go Joe Soto on this one. Joe Soto by let's say decision, unanimous decision from Joe Soto to pick up the victory over Marco Beltrone. Next up, we got for the main event for the preliminary card on Fox Sports 1. We got Erik Perez versus Felipe Arnaiz. Now these two guys I really don't know too much about, unfortunately. So this is kind of just a guessing game for me. So I'm going to actually go with Erik Perez here. Erik Perez will win by TKO round 2. That's what I'm going with. And they're fighting in the bantamweight weight class. So I'm going Erik Perez round 2. Next up, that's right, the main card. Fox Sports 1. And we actually have a women's strawweight fight on between Heather Jo Clark and UFC newcomer Alexa Grasso. Now, a lot of hype is around Grasso, and that's who I'm actually going to go with to win this fight. She's undefeated in her MMA career. She's 8-0. She was fighting in Invicta, and that's who I'm going to go with. Alexa Grasso, I feel like she's probably the better fighter, and I feel like she's going to make quick work of Heather Jo Clark. And I'll say it's going to be a first-round TKO for Alexa Grasso. Next up in the lightweight category, we got Beneil Dariush versus Rashid Magomedov. Gotta go Dariush on this one. I never really liked him before because he beat a couple of my favorite fighters, but I'm going with him now. I feel like he's ever since he lost, I feel like he's found this whole new game, and I feel like that Dariush is definitely gonna. I feel like this is gonna be a great fight. Now Magomedov's 19-1, and Dariush is no slouch himself at 12-2. So this is actually gonna be, I think, one of the fight of the nights, and I'm gonna go Dariush on this one. I feel like it's gonna be on the ground a lot. It's going to be standing and banging. It's going to be each guy's going to be trading shots. I feel like this is going to be the fight of the night, and you can quote me on that one, but I'm going Dariush. Let's say, I don't know if I gave my prediction because a lot of this is me just rambling here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say unanimous decision. Next up, we got Martin Bravo versus Claudio Poulos. And this is actually the tournament final for the UFC Latin America 3. Now, I haven't really been watching this season of The Ultimate Fighter, so again, I don't know anything about these guys. It's contested in the lightweight category. I'm gonna go Claudio, just because I like the name. It's a good name, Claudio. Yeah, don't hate. Next up in the featherweight category, we got Charles Oliveira versus Ricardo Lamas. Now, this is another fight which I'm actually really looking forward to watching, and both guys, in my opinion, they desperately need a win to stay even relevant in the featherweight division. Ricardo Lamas is coming off that great fight against Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira, unfortunately, the things didn't go his way against Anthony Pettis, but he showed signs of strength. So I have to take Oliveira. I do like watching the Ricardo Lamas fight. I really enjoy it. But unfortunately, I think Oliveira is just going to be a little better than Ricardo Lamas this night, and I think he's going to pick up the win in second round submission for Oliveira. But unfortunately, that stinks because I really do like watching Ricardo Lamas fight. Next up, the co-main event in the lightweight category, we got Diego Sanchez versus Marcin Hild. Now, Hild's been around a while in Bellator, but this is his first ever crack in the big leagues, in the big bad boys of the UFC. But he's going up against one of the all-time greats, the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 winner, Diego Sanchez. I know Diego Sanchez's better days have passed him by, but maybe he can surprise you and still get a knockout here or there. So I'm actually going to go with Sanchez on this one. I know that's not the smart money bet on DraftKings. I know everyone's going Hild, but why not take the nightmare and then the dream and then the nightmare and then the dream, or whatever he's being called now. So I'm going to go Diego Sanchez. I'm going to say this is going to go to the first round TKO for Diego Sanchez. And then next up, the main event on the Fox Sports 1 card, lightweight, we got Rafael Dos Anjos versus Tony Ferguson. Now, this is a highly contested battle. I know a lot of people think Dos Anjos is going to win, the former champion. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way last time against Eddie Alvarez, and he lost the lightweight strap. But I'm actually going to go Ferguson on this one. I feel like Ferguson, ever since he's been on The Ultimate Fighter, Ferguson's been unstoppable. His last fight against Lando Venata, it showed some of his weakness. A guy coming in on short notice, really was tagging him and, buckled his knees a few times. But I feel like Ferguson's probably the more well-rounded fighter. And I feel like Dos Anjos is going to be a little more tentative this fight because he did lose by knockout in his lightweight championship match. So I'm going to go Tony Ferguson. I feel like this is going to be the complete 5 rounds. I feel like this is going to be a decision, and it's going to be a very highly contested decision, but I feel like they're going to give it to Ferguson. And I'm going to be happy about that because maybe Ferguson will be one step closer to a shot at the title because he's been barking at that door for a long time. And there you have it, folks. You've listened to me talk and give my chow down on UFC Fight Night number 98. So I want to thank you for listening to Chicken Parm Dave's MMA Chowdown. So please enjoy the fights November 5th. And listen to this, and please support everything we do. Watch the clinch. We got big news coming up that's related to the clinch and sports talk. So please enjoy listening to me give my predictions, and I have plenty more of these coming soon. So thank you, everybody, and watch the fights.